Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. What's going on, guys? Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. It is 6:24 p.m. and let's go ahead and talk about some of the top stocks for this week. I'm going to start this video off with talking about the top one, and then I'm going to have you guys choose the top four. All you need to do is to share it in the live chat, as you guys can see on the right-hand side of the screen. If you can't type out in the live chat, it's probably because you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel. I want to remind you, it's free to subscribe. I hope that earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. And yes, if you want to tune on into my live trading session, it's the second link in the description down below. Today's video is going to be super short and sweet. I have time where I'm going to be meeting with my family in just a few minutes. So I just wanted to make sure that we can talk about what to expect this upcoming week. So the first thing that I quickly want to highlight is, okay, well, what company is on my top of the list? It shouldn't be a surprise. We talked about it in today's earlier video, and it's Nvidia. Nvidia is one of the largest tech companies. It's one of the Magnificent Seven, and it reports earnings this week. I don't care if you're not invested in Nvidia. Most likely, based off of how Nvidia reports earnings on Wednesday, August 28th, after the market closes, will also determine if the market sells off or if the market continues to rally. And I'm not sugarcoating it. The influence that Nvidia has is that big. It has an earnings per share expectation of 64 cents, and it has a revenue expectation of $28.6 billion. The thing that I want to remind you is that it's also not just so much about how it reports earnings, but it's its guidance and its expectation for quarters to come. Is it doing or projected to do better than what is expected, or does it expect a downturn? The really good example that I can give you is when we had Amazon, Google, Microsoft all report earnings, they often all exceeded expectation for their earning reports, but they still sold off. And it was for one specific reason, because the growth that they were seeing when it came down to AI was not as quick as Wall Street expected. And let me not sugarcoat it. This is Wall Street's own fault, because Wall Street likes to get ahead of itself. But now this is going to be, I would say, a test or a challenge for Nvidia. Now, the difference between Nvidia and the rest of big tech is that, well, Nvidia is kind of like the juggernaut. It's killing it, man. And there's no reason to sugarcoat it. Like, it really is killing it. It wouldn't surprise me. You guys know that I love talking crap about Nvidia. I love the company, but I openly talk crap about it because I do think that because of how quickly it became overvalued within a short period of time, I love talking about it when it's overbought. Nonetheless, it wouldn't surprise me if it does skyrocket after reporting earnings, because it could exceed expectation. But with that being said, there is something that is happening as of right now over the weekend that can create some selling pressure and fear to be instilled in the market. I'm not too sure if you guys have heard the news, but I think it was, let me pull it up very, very quickly. I actually just shared it on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's actually linked down below. But it says, Israel and Hezbollah exchanged the heaviest strikes in months, raising regional tensions. So pretty much there's two countries that are attacking one another with missiles. And anytime that there is tensions that are rising due to war, it creates fear to be instilled in the market, and markets begin to drop, especially at these overbought levels. Now, those are the only two main things that I'm really paying attention to this week. Now, it doesn't mean that those are the only two things that could influence the market, but my job is just to make you aware of what I know. And I know that Nvidia reports earnings Wednesday after the market closes, and I would love to invite you to subscribe to the channel so we can watch it together, because I do plan to live stream it. Second, because of those tensions rising and because of the attacks that are happening, we can't be surprised if we begin to see volatility being injected into the market. Now that I talked about those two things, I wanted to break down your top 4 stocks for this week. So again, if you want me to break down your stock, just share it in the live chat, and I would be more than happy to break it down for you. A friendly reminder, if it doesn't let you type out in the live chat, it's probably because you're not subscribed. You do have to be subscribed to partake in that live chat. Now, let's go ahead. We have someone saying Nvidia will go under $100. That would be wild, because if Nvidia does go below $100 and begins to sell off, that would be a very significant sell-off, causing the rest of the NASDAQ market to also sell off. That's the thing that I think beginner traders don't really understand. They might be like, well, why would the rest of the market sell off if one company sells off? It's the influence that it has because of how much it makes up for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, right? When you have a $3.18 trillion market cap, you move markets. And I think that's the best way to explain it. The market cap, the exposure, if it skyrockets, it will bring the rest of big tech with it. If it drops, it will bring the rest of big tech with it. So all of the good and all of the bad this week is the test. Will we finally go back to retest 141, or are we overbought enough and are we going to begin to retrace as Nvidia reports earnings? I'm not here to pretend like I know exactly what's going to happen. All I know is that Nvidia has been killing it this year. They've been killing it all of 2023, and they almost seem to be unstoppable. So if something does get released that wasn't factored in and it does come in a little bit worse than what is expected, then again, get ready for some sell-in pressure, right? All right. Let's go ahead and break this down. So again, if you have a top stock, just share the ticker symbol in the live chat and then why you want or why you see value in it. So because it's huge. I like that, Courtney. All right. I like how you shared it in the ticker format. So KULR. Let's go ahead and pull it up. So first off, and this isn't going to, right off the bat, I don't want this to be one of the top 5 just because it's a penny stock, right? It trades under $5. This one's trading at 27 cents per share. It's a strong descending pattern, lower highs, lower lows. I don't know if you're a little bit newer to the market, or at least my videos. I do not trade stocks like this. I could tell that this thing has super low volume. And I think the best way that I could explain this, right? I'm not here to ever tell you what you should or should not do. I'm just saying for myself, if I was a beginner, I would not be trying to trade stocks with a strong descending pattern over a long period of time. It looks like it pumped up, it became a pump and dump, and over a period of time, it just began to make lower highs and lower lows. Its true direction is bearish, and because of that, you are simply putting yourself in a position with greater risk due to that descending pattern. Just something to be aware of, okay? All right, let's go to move on to the next one. Marvel. What's going on, Paula? Let's break that one down. Marvel Technology. So we'll definitely talk about this one. What do we think about this? I like it. I like that you brought this one up because Marvel was aggressively oversold. It would hit lows of $52. Now it's made amazing recovery, coming back to retest previous highs. Now my question is, I talk about this with my LPP team all the time. What's the risk to reward, right? What's your profit potential versus your risk potential? Does it look like there's more upside or more potential downside? Now, based off of recent patterns, it's a little bit more on the overbought side than it is on the oversold, right? That being said, it is still above EMA and above moving average and still indicating signs of progress on the upside. So this thing could continue to go to 76, 78. But the thing that I just want to make you aware is if it does begin to pull on back and break below EMA and the moving average, then that would be a break of pattern. So make sure you manage and mitigate risk accordingly. Nonetheless, direction is in your favor, and I can see why you're paying attention to it. So let's go to move on to the next one. This is the second one. I'm going to break down 3 more. So again, if you want me to break down your stock, smash that like button and share your top stock in the live chat. We got Tiva. What's going on, Aircool? I appreciate you taking time and tuning on in. Let's go ahead and see if this is going to be a good one. Okay. I like this. 4-hour time frame, higher highs, higher lows. First, right off the bat, this is not a stock that I would consider buying right now. Could you imagine why, right? Because it's at pretty much all-time highs and it's extremely overbought. And yes, it could go a little bit higher, but it tends to pull on back to the moving average, right? The thing that I love about this is it's not about right now, but it's at least I know that you are paying attention to a stock that's extremely bullish. You are choosing to focus your time and attention in a stock that is showing growth over a long period of time. And I think that's a really healthy habit to have as a trader. And you can see that it had kind of this consolidation phase for months, almost 2 years. And then it began to indicate signs of an uptrend. It's become very overbought. Nonetheless, it's extremely bullish. But as of right now, it's just a little bit too overbought, not enough profit potential versus the risk or the downside. This is where I would plug this into my risk to reward ratio and make sure that it aligns with it. As of right now, it's too overbought. I just think it has to do more with timing. Wait for that opportunity to present itself. I think you found a great stock that has been indicating good signs of an uptrend pattern. It's just more about getting it at a time where, again, there's more upside potential than there is downside risk. And I would see that to be more when it pulls back to that moving average, showing more signs of potential uptrend, right? So let me know what you think about that. That was 3. Let's go ahead and break down number 4. Is it PLTR? We got Saldam asking for me to break down Palantir. Palantir has been on a nice little bull run after getting absolutely destroyed post-pandemic, right? So it popped off, hit highs of $45, and it's been selling off, hit lows of $5, and then has been on this uptrend. Now, it's not rocket science, and please, we're all entitled to our own opinion. What do you think I'm going to say about Palantir? I love that you are focusing on a stock that's bullish, but it's also very important to pick up on characteristics, right? On patterns when it comes down to whatever stock it is that you are trading. And sometimes you have to look at different time frames to get different perspectives. And when I look at this time frame, I see a stock that is bullish and that does validate the moving average. Even though it is bullish, it's really hard to ignore how extremely overvalued and overbought it is, right? Every time that it rallies and becomes overbought, it corrects itself right back. So again, it's not that it's not a good stock to be invested in. It's just important to understand when to be aggressive with your position and maybe when it's not the best time to be aggressive at extreme overbought levels. I mean, looking at previous patterns, anytime that it rallies, it pulls back. It rallies, it pulls back. It rallies, it pulls back. It rallies really quickly. It pulls back very quickly. So with that being said, Palantir, I personally, again, just my opinion, I think it's extremely overbought within a short period of time, and I think that it's due for a pullback. This doesn't mean that you need to short it, none of that stuff. It just means that, okay, yeah, might be a good stock to buy, maybe when it's closer to the moving average, right? It's not that you have to buy it right now. And I think that's what's really important to understand about the market. It's you might find a really good stock to be invested in, but maybe you just are coming across it when it's too overbought. And if you buy it now and then it pulls on back, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, I hate the stock market. This thing, crashed on me. But it's not that you did anything wrong. It's not that Palantir is not a good stock to potentially be invested in. It's just that you bought it at an extremely overbought and greedy level, right? Where you have to wait for the opportunity to truly present itself. And we talk about this in LPP all the time, right? Making sure that the golden ratio is in your favor, that your profit potential, right? Imagine this thing was down here. Your profit potential for this thing to recover is much greater than your downside risk. I could therefore try to buy it at 23, manage risk at 21, 20 flat, and my profit potential is 30, 31, 33, right? Profit potential is much greater than my downside risk, and because of that, it would make much more sense. Again, you don't have to agree with me. We're all entitled to our own opinions. I just love making beginners aware of overbought and oversold levels. Not that overbought stocks have to pull on back, but that they tend to. And I think that's really valuable to understand as a beginner trader, so you're not greedy at these overbought levels and you're not too fearful at oversold levels, right? It's all about ratios. It's all about based off of your success rate to put yourself in a position to succeed with a stock with healthy profit potential. We're going to do one more. So I'm going to, and again, I told you guys from the beginning, it's going to be a very short video. I'm meeting my family. They're visiting from out of town, so I'm going to have dinner with them. So the last stock that we're going to be breaking down, share it in the live chat, drop a thumbs up, and again, just share that ticker symbol and would love to break it down for you. Let's see what we have here. And again, if I don't break down your stock, but you're part of my LPP team, I can break down your stock tomorrow during our live trading session. And again, that's the second link in the description down below if you want to tune on in. So here we go. All right. Riley is saying daddy, which is, oh shoot, that is not, is that a joke? Yeah. I thought that was GoDaddy or something like that. Never mind. You got me there. All right. We got Chris with BA. Are we going to do that? Boeing. Let's talk about it, because this talks about now this is presenting a stock that's a little bit more on the oversold side. Is that fine? Can we talk about Boeing? So Boeing has obviously been going through a really tough time, right? With all these, what do we want to call it, accidents that they've been having. Boeing has not been performing the best. Now, again, it's all about risk tolerance. Boeing has become very oversold. it's trading at 175 and its previous price is 267. Now, again, it doesn't mean that it has to recover, but it's about putting yourself in a position that you can succeed. Now, this thing is not indicating signs of an uptrend, but this is where it becomes very effective as a trader. If you can identify stocks that are oversold, that have recovery potential, and you set appropriate alerts to then take action when they actually begin to recover, then the cool thing is, just like this, right? When it's sold off, it's not that you had to buy it at the lowest price, but that you buy it when it's indicating signs of an uptrend. And I think that's a very common mistake, even that I make myself, is we often try to always buy it at the lowest price, but it's not so much about buying it at the lowest price, it's just buying it at a good price when direction is in your favor and it's indicating signs of growth. So again, just like this reversal, I love trading reversals. I've talked about it so many times within our LPP team. It's oversold. It's coming to retest the same previous pattern. It's just not indicating signs of progress just yet. So this does present a stock that's a little bit possibly on the oversold side, does offer great recovery potential, about 49% if it were to recover to previous highs, but direction is not in our favor just yet. You could see that it has a really strong resistance right around 195. It struggles to break above. So maybe if it begins to trade above that moving average or right around $200 per share, then at that point we can choose to take action when direction becomes favorable. The only thing that I want to remind you is that yes, it's cheap now, but the cheap can always get cheaper. Looking at previous lows, it has hit lows of 113 before. So because of that, again, the cheap can always get cheaper. This is why you wait for confirmation for direction to be in your favor and not just blindly buying the dip with no risk management, hoping for this thing to recover when it could just break the support at 160 and then continue to sell off. So again, don't forget to plug it into your risk to reward ratio calculator, create your trade plan, and making sure that you set the proper criteria that Boeing would have to meet for it to be a trade worth taking advantage of. I do like Boeing. I would consider adding it to my watch list. It's just not indicating signs of progress right now on the upside. So because of that, I wouldn't view it to be a stock to buy right now. But again, it's about timing when it comes down to these trades, right? This is not an investment. This is about a trade. And this is why I would set my alert and follow up with it when it actually makes sense. Yeah, I mean, that's really just it. I had some fun with you. I try to keep today's video super short and sweet. If you have more stocks that you guys would like me to break down, I hope that you know that you can always direct message me via Discord, which is the first link in the description down below. Or if you end up joining my LPP team, you could always ask me during our live trading sessions where I can break it down for you right at market open. I trade live every single morning. You don't have to tune on in, but it's designed for complete beginners. So if you're someone that learns best by watching other people do, then again, the second link in the description down below will get you 50% off. It's our biggest discount, and the price is going to double in September if you don't take advantage of it. We're coming out with LPP 3.0 early September, which means that once the new one gets released, everyone that's part of LPP 2.0 will be grandfathered in and will also get access to LPP 3.0. So again, if you've ever considered joining LPP, now would be the time before prices go up in September. I appreciate your time. I hope that earned your thumbs up. If you have any questions before joining, feel free to comment down below. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note.